Welcome to Total Retail Talks, your podcast channel for retail knowledge.
Hello, and welcome to episode 150 of Total Retail Talks. I'm Joe Keenan, Executive Editor of Total Retail. Joining me today is Tori Gerbig, the co-founder and CEO of Pink Lily, an online women's clothing boutique. We're going to be discussing how Pink Lily is using social media and brand influencers to help it drive customer engagement and sales. Thanks for joining me, Tori.
Hi, how are you today?
Doing great, thanks. Thanks for taking the time. So I think it would be a good place to start would be to tell our audience a little bit about Pink Lily, those that might not be familiar with it.
Yeah, Pink Lily is a women's online boutique that launched in 2014. And we are one of the fastest growing online boutiques in the nation. We currently cater mostly to women ages that range from 18 to around 55. So it's a women boutique that, kind of hits a lot of ages there.
And I'm interested, in your background. Did you come from a retail background? What was kind of the motivation? Why did you want to start this business?
I actually did not come from a retail background. I went to college and worked, I have a marketing degree, and then I went into sales, insurance sales, after I graduated from college for a few years. I love selling items and, building relationships with customers, but I really wasn't into insurance as much. And, of course, I love fashion. I'm a girl, so who doesn't? Yep. And so I decided to do this as a hobby on the side while I was still selling insurance. And it kind of just turned into a full-time gig one day. So it's much more fun for me to sell clothing than it is to sell insurance. So,
yeah, I would imagine. So as I mentioned in my intro, one of the things I wanted to talk about was, Pink Lily is very active on social media and through, using influencers to kind of spread its message. So let's talk a little bit about, kind of your approach there around using social media and in particular video too, to drive customer engagement and sales.
Yeah, and we definitely do all of that. We use, of course, all of the platforms. We have a Facebook page, we have our Instagram page, we have a Pinterest account, we have all of that. So we used to just primarily focus on Facebook, but as we've grown, we've adapted to the changes. We do spend quite a bit of time now with our Instagram account, and with that being influencers too. So our influencers, we do have, anywhere from 60 to 100 that post for us a month. We'll send out a free item, they post for us, or we do paid content, and we'll get these really awesome images that we can use on our site as well, and it just helps grow the brand from there. With the videos, we do a lot of Facebook Live videos. We do 1 or 2 a week on our Facebook page. Plus, we also post videos, not just static images, because we know that gets a better response overall with Facebook changes, the changes that they've had on the platform lately, and people just responding to video footage. So with our, with our photo shoots, we also usually hire videographers to get some of the footage for us to post too. And then also with that, Insta Story is now a really big channel too through Instagram that we post videos on as well.
So are you hiring professional talent to shoot and kind of be the talent in these videos and kind of the production and also, for your social posts as well, or are you using employees? How are you going about, getting these produced?
So we have an in-house photographer. We do sub out videographers just because we don't use that every single shoot. But we do have models, too, that have worked with us that fit our brand. We do occasionally hire other ones to go on with us for, larger shoots. But we have 3 that work with us pretty much not full-time but part-time weekly to get the images. And, of course, our photographer's full-time here. We also have 3 full-time social media employees that schedule out and work on these different platforms.
Yeah, that's a good segue into my next question. So you mentioned that you're very active and across a lot of different platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and some others. So can you talk about, your thought process around deciding which social channels to market Pink Lily in? And then kind of a second part to that question, does your content strategy change for each platform, or is it kind of uniform across?
So we really look at analytics a lot with what platforms bringing in what money, and I look at social or Google Analytics all day long. I have it up at any given time, and I can see how many people are coming from where. So Facebook is always our number one. Occasionally Instagram stories will get up there above it, but not for long. It just really depends on what time of the day we're posting. Pinterest brings in a little bit, but of course Facebook's always going to be our number one. So our biggest and most posts go on Facebook. So we always post, at least every hour on the hour throughout 12 or 13 hours of the day. And that is just because we know that there's a lot of people looking at our page. We have 1.6 million followers on there, and we really hit that hard. Instagram, we do segment them differently, though. With our Facebook, we also know that with those demographics and the analytics on Facebook, our target market on there is a little bit older of a customer. And with Instagram, it's a little bit younger of a customer. So with our Instagram, it may be more trendy styles, more younger, college student age styles, versus Facebook being more of your 30 and 40-year-old styles. So we do even post different items on different platforms.
Yeah, that's why I was going to ask you. You mentioned when you were discussing the brand that you have a very large kind of span of customers, from teenager all the way up into women in their 50s. So it's the content changes based on who you're trying to reach with a message, I would imagine.
Yes, definitely. With Instagram, you just have so many younger users on there, and they're not on Facebook as much. They're spending a lot of time on Instagram, so we definitely market to them a younger Pink Lily brand. And then with the Facebook, it is a little bit older generation, and we do more casual styles and just what you're going to wear on the weekend, but not really going out stuff. So it's very different with the way we do market our different platforms.
So Pink Lily obviously is competing in a very crowded and competitive, space, women's apparel. So what are some of the different ways that you're using content marketing to kind of differentiate the brand? Any particular campaigns or just kind of the overall content strategy that you're working on?
We really focus a big part of our time each week on getting these really good lifestyle images of the items that we're selling, because in the past we would get just these quick images of like a studio shot or something, and it really just doesn't help people envision themselves wearing it out and about. So like if it's fall, we'll have the girls go out and they're in their boots, they're in a hayfield, they're having campfires, they're doing things that people can really imagine themselves wearing the items that we're selling, and just making it an overall lifestyle brand with these very clear and beautiful images. And we also, to get customers engaged, we'll do very often giveaways, and that really helps, with to stand out and to differentiate our brand. We'll give away some of our best-selling items, so then that way it gets more users to know about our accounts and get onto our website and shop.
So you mentioned this engaged following that you have on social. Are you kind of leveraging user-generated content? Do you have customers sending you photos of them wearing, different outfits that they've bought from Pink Lily?
Yes, we do on Instagram have a hashtag. So if they use the hashtag Pink Lily Style, that brings it up onto our website where we can approve content, and so they possibly could get their image on our website. But anybody who goes to that can see anybody that's tagged us, and occasionally we will repost those images. I think, a handful each week we do repost, so then people can know that, they're going to, I possibly could get reposted on their website or their Instagram account, and we do have a lot of tagged images each day from our customers.
So I know that Pink Lily had a very active holiday season, in particular a big social media initiative around this past holiday season. Would you be able to share with the audience some of the results that you saw from that activity?
Yeah, with Black Friday and during the Cyber Monday, Black Friday weekend, we had over 100 different influencers lined up to post, actually Black Friday alone, which, like I said, typically we have, 50 or 60 a month. So we crammed all those people into one day just to get more, we got a lot of people to know about our sale that we were having that day, and just so people out there who are, it's flooded, of course, on Black Friday with all these ads and everything. So basically we wanted our influencers to get their customers to our site that day. So overall, our sales, we did have a 50% growth in sales on Black Friday alone this past year, and we do know that a lot of that was from our influencer campaign. We also went live on Facebook all day long with Black Friday and had several different games and, events where we could, spin a wheel and customers could earn a discount. So they were really paying attention to our Black Friday event the whole day long on social media. And by drawing attention to our Facebook and Instagram account, I really feel like that got even more people to the website because they were wanting to come on there and play games on Facebook, but then while they're on there, they saw something that they might want to buy for 30% off, so then they went to the website to purchase.
You mentioned the end of the year, the Q4 holidays. Are there other times of the year where the business sees bumps, whether it be Mother's Day or other types of the year where you kind of want to drive that added traffic to the site and kind of increase awareness?
Yeah, and Easter is actually, we just finished that, and it was our largest March month ever we've had. We did several different social media campaigns with like a virtual Easter egg hunt, and we also gave away Easter egg in every order on a day that had a coupon. So we engaged our customers a lot through social media in the month of March, and we had overall, I think it was another 50% increase in March alone this year. So it was a lot of social media driven content with Easter this year.
And then my final question, Tori, is, you mentioned that just some of those results are really, proof that, what you're doing is working. So do you have any advice for other retailers that want to use social media and content marketing to engage consumers and grow their market share?
Yeah, I do. I have just a couple points that I think that would really help. The first one is to know your target market. Your customer has to be, the person that you're posting towards has to be somebody that's, whatever you post has to go be, you have to go after somebody that wants your product. So you can't be posting something that they have no interest in. So you really have to know that target market and go after that, and also to really create your own brand. You can definitely get inspiration from other companies, but as soon as you start to copy them completely, then you're no longer just, having your own brand, and customers will notice that as well. So if you build your brand around what you and your customers like, then it's going to just continue to grow, and you're going to find more customers that want that versus, always changing and not really sticking true to your roots.
Great. Well, I want to take this opportunity to thank Tori Gerbig of Pink Lily for joining me today and telling us a little bit about the company's social media strategy and content marketing approach. Please check out our podcast channel page, mytotalretail.com/podcast for show notes. Total Retail Talks is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Stitcher. But make sure to subscribe on our podcast channel page as well. Thanks, and I look forward to you joining us on the next episode of Total Retail Talks.